A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones, reporting live from Kalkine TV Sydney studios. Now, Australian shares are expected to open higher this morning. Yesterday, though, the Australian share market saw major banks, energy, tech and travel stocks all weigh on the market. And at the closing bell, the S&P ASX 200 was 0.6% or 43 points lower at 7,353. Across the sectors, 7 out of 11 closed in the red. Technology fell 2.1%, meanwhile materials lifted 0.4% higher. Travel stocks did tumble, and that was due to the threat of fresh COVID-19 restrictions. Flight Centre shares dropped 7.3% as the worst performing stock, while Qantas closed 3.7% lower and Corporate Travel Management closed 5.9% lower. Now, in local business news from this morning, the Commonwealth Bank has received all regulatory approval for the sale of its 55% interest in Colonial First State to KKR. The transaction is expected to complete on the 1st of December this year. And Genworth Mortgage Insurance Australia intends to start an on-market share buyback for shares up to a maximum aggregate value of $100 million. Now, based on Genworth's closing share price yesterday of $2.18, this would represent 11.1% of the company's issued share capital, or around 45.9 million ordinary shares. Genworth Mortgage Insurance Australia is the leading provider of lenders' mortgage insurance in the Australian residential mortgage lending market. And finally, real-time software company Vectian Technologies has unveiled its Frame S metaverse in anticipation of becoming an embedded app with WebEx in the second half of financial year 2022. Now, this is considered a critical material milestone, allowing organizations to autonomously build self-contained immersive metaverses as enterprise-focused dynamic 3D worlds where people can participate equally from anywhere in the world. Today we have a number of ASX-listed companies set to hold their annual general meetings, including Brickworks, Link Administration Holdings, the Monadelphous Group and Pro Medicus. Well, now it's time for a very short break, but stay tuned for more news set to affect the trading day.
Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
Sectoral coverage or industry news.
we cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
With Kalkine TV.
Welcome back to the Morning Outlook Report. I'm Rachel Jones and you're watching Kalkine TV. So let's look as to how the Australian share market might be opening higher today. Over in the US on Wall Street, the Dow Jones was up 0.8%. The S&P 500 was up 0.7% and the Nasdaq was down 0.2%. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq were at all-time highs. That's after the US President Joe Biden nominated Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell for the second term. On the other hand, the Pan-European Stock 600 index finished flat. The MSCI gauge of European shares fell 0.65%. MSCI's Broadset index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan fell 0.11%. And oil prices rebounded from recent losses, and that's on reports that OPEC Plus could adjust plans to raise oil production if large consuming countries release crude from their reserves or if the coronavirus pandemic dampens demand. Brent crude ended up 1.03% at $79.70 a barrel. WTI crude finished up 1.07% to $76.75 a barrel. Gold prices fell. That's as Powell's nomination drove expectations that the central bank will stay the course on tapering economic support. US gold futures settled 2.4% lower at $1,806.30. Meanwhile, Bitcoin fell 4.2%, extending its rout after posting its worst week in 2 months last week. Well, that's all for our Morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.